Besides enthusiasm and a willingness to learn, what are the requirements that you have for anyone who comes down and spends time with your practice?
Zero. I require no skills. If you like horses, and if you have an interest in farriery, I will find a spark in you. I will light a fire in you. I will find what it takes to get you involved and absorbed. I'll soon know myself if you're going to get there quick or if it's going to take a long time. But you don't have to have any skills. I had a young man visit us not too long ago who he just showed up at one of our clinics. He knew nothing about horses, seen something on TV, I think. He was a chef in a very nice restaurant. And he said, I'd really like to go along sometime. I said, well, how about tomorrow? And he followed us to a large barn, and we've sparked an interest in him, and now he's going to go to horseshoeing school. So I don't need a skill. We encourage farriers to ride with us to observe. You're going to end up doing something because we're going to get you sparked. We're going to get you ignited. But it takes no skill to come with us.
In the client's minds, do they see that they're hiring Dave Farley or Dave Farley's team? And I suppose, you have your team assembled. How do you manage that relationship with the clients that every member of your team is trusted with their horses?
Absolutely. That's been a struggle for forever in every discipline that I have. And anytime I take somebody with me, especially somebody new, years ago, it took a lot of explanation, especially if they saw these people or observed these people picking up a foot. That was a taboo. No, you don't cross that line. Through the years, it was a slow process of my clients trusting the people that I had with me and me instilling in them. I do a lot of communication with my clients through a newsletter. I used to do it quarterly. Now I do it twice a year. For instance, Bobby Menker works with us in Kentucky, and I'll show a slide tomorrow of 10 or 20 people, I think, that works with me worldwide. And my clients respect that. Now that I'm in the position I am with the association, I'll give you a good example of another farrier who's built on getting the clients to appreciate customers. A new board member of ours pulled into a barn and he's working, and the trainer comes in and he could tell immediately that she was very uneasy, 4 horses in the cross ties and 5 or 6 people working, and she says, I need to talk to you. And he said, just 1 minute when I finish what I'm doing. Let her have a second to chew on that. And he told me that he finally come over to her and she says, I'm uncomfortable with this, all these people working on the horses. And he said, I'd like for you to know that every person that works for me is an APF member and up to date with his credit hours. And he actually receives twice as many credit hours as the vets are expected to be. In 1 year, he gets what they have in 2 years. These are qualified people. And you could just see the stress relieve off her. She said, oh, okay, I'm fine with that. It's kind of what I've done through the years. I think the people that I work for trust that whoever's with me, whether they have 0 skills or a lot of skills, I know that, and I only let them do what they can do. I was, in the last probably 15 years, 98 or 99 on, I've never had an owner, I'm blessed, ask me, why are you sending this person? Why aren't you there? They accept anyone that works with us without hesitation, no question whatsoever. It's an education thing. It's a learning, communication thing with your clients. Something that we don't get enough of in our schools and in our early part of our careers.
Over the time you were working by yourself and then you established this multi-farrier practice, how long did it take you to become comfortable with that leadership role and directing others what to do?
Very, very early on. I had farriers working for me when Red had his multi-farrier business. It's a good question. I would have to look back. I had a very good partner, Steve McKee. I believe 77 or 78 was the first time I had a full-time employee, and then we took students with us too, or young people. So I've been doing it a long time. And again, it's been observation of other people and how fluid they are with their multi-Farrier. I'm not the first one. I don't think anyone in the Farrier industry is the first at anything anymore. I think they're the smartest when they observe other people and take things that's already successful for other people. So I don't know. I can't put a date on it. My son was born in '76, and I know shortly after I had the first full-time employee, and it's escalated since then. We're down to most days only 3 people. So I'm not huge. I'm on this side of things now, and I like where I'm at. But I still learn more than ever, every day, and know my faults more every day also.
Does the pressure change with the higher level of competition, or did it always sort of stay the same in your mind, the pressure and the stresses placed on you as the farrier?
Well, the pressures, there's always been pressures. There's always been pressures. Maybe I didn't notice it much when I was younger. I've always, at every discipline I've been blessed to get to the levels. Maybe not equal to where I'm at today, because the money is so much more involved. The prices of horses are so much more involved, but the stresses are amazing. That's the only difficult thing about the job, and that's the one thing, if you could do it over again, if I could turn back time. So yeah, the stress levels where we're at it's amazing, because the farrier is not at the top of the list any longer. The farrier is now maybe 4th or 5th down the list, being the owner and the trainer and the barn manager, or the owner, trainer, the vet, then the farm manager, then the grooms. We are way down here. We're servants. We're in the service industry. And when you're in the service industry, they call you, they want you there. The higher the dollar value of the horse, the higher the dollar value of the function that he's in, the more stress it's going to be there. There's no way to get around that. Absolutely none. They want you now, and they want the horse to jog sound to make it to that event. So the stress levels are immense. How you let that carry over into the rest of your life is a goal. Every farrier should learn his own psyche and how to deal with that pressure. Once you walk away from that stress, you need to analyze it. Again, our brains are all computers, just like we analyze the conformation of that horse. When we walk away from that stressful situation, whether it's, this horse is lame, or we're going to try another shoe, or you have to be able to communicate with those people and sometimes grit your teeth and to apply a shoe that may not be what you think is the best for that horse. When you walk away from that, you have to be able to turn that stress off, or it will consume you like an addiction. It will take over your life like alcohol or drugs. You have to leave it there. Otherwise, there's no fun happening at the truck. It becomes such a job, and it wears you out. It exhausts you, the stress. So the stress levels are higher. I don't think I'm the only one that would share that experience with you. And it gets very tough when the traveling comes into mind, because the stress level when it comes to the traveling, if I have a horse in Brazil or Spain, and it's all set up, it's all happening, and you've planned the rest of your business around this fly in, take care of work, and leave, and they call you at the last minute and say, no, we're going to wait 2 days. Then you get there and you have your vet there, and you have a European vet there, and you have the owner that sold the horse that doesn't want to give the money back, and this is all balancing on your shoulders. And meanwhile, you left 90% of your business home to go take care of 10% here. You have to be able to handle that stress. You have to be able to walk away from it and not let 10% affect the 90% that's somewhere else.
What did you learn about your own psyche that helped you manage that?
learning more about humans and other human psychological traits. I study a lot of my clients who are very successful people, and I'm fascinated with people and humans, and myself, and I know what my weaknesses are. But you learn that by studying other people and learning. There's so much to learn about people, and I think it's wonderful to be able to handle that and walk away from it, to know that it can consume you. Some people don't have that ability. I think they could learn, but I don't think there's anything in life that a farrier, if he wants to achieve it, I don't think there's anything that he can achieve if he learns how to manage his own mind. You can do anything you want. You can shoot any horses that you want if you learn how to handle your mind. If you keep it open, you keep it a sponge, and know how to separate pressure from physical. Know your physical part. Know that sometimes this can overcome the physical part and make you hurt yourself a bit, stress yourself, do too many horses, listen to too much that's going on. You have to listen to it. It's a wonderful thing being open-minded and learning that. And I like to help other farriers do that too. If you know how to turn things off, if you know how to handle that stress, to walk away from it and separate it, and sometimes when you see it coming, do like Mr. Gilchrist does and say, wait a minute, I'll be right there with you. Gather yourself together. Don't let it control you. You can do it. Everybody can do it.
There's a balance to keeping that open mind, but not straying too far away from the basics. What do you attribute to your success in regard to doing that balancing act and still maintaining that open mind?
Well, I learn as much seeing something done wrong or making a mistake myself. Having an open mind is admitting that I've done many things wrong also. So I don't mind observing something that is totally out of character or confirmation or physical ability for something, as long as it doesn't involve pain or suffering. I think that I've seen some things that did cross that border, and it bothered me. But I still watched, and I learned, and I took that value from that lesson and imprinted it in my mind. I think you need to observe it all. I think there's always going to be that person that crosses the line. I think that type of a person doesn't understand. He's not educated. He or she does not truly understand the beast that's in front of them when they cross that line. They're not doing it intentionally. They're doing it because they think it's right or they've been taught that it's right. I take a little bit of responsibility to help that person. I really do. I get them close to me to find the spark, and then I can take that and transfer that to something else and slowly but surely explain why that was incorrect or why that crossed the line in a negative way. It's always going to happen. Bleeding horses and sticking horses and improper balancing and poor fitting shoes is never going to end. Never. We have to accept that. We have to just try to fix it when we do see it, but it's always going to happen. It's not a bad thing. It may be bad for the horse that particular day, but we have to take on the responsibility to help that person, encourage them, to teach them. We'll make better people out of them. We'll make the horse industry a better place.
What are your thoughts about the balance of your practice, where you're at now, the balance of where it's headed, and are you satisfied with it overall?
I'm still learning that. I am still learning that better balance. But at my age and with being involved with so many experienced people, I've heard and seen everything that they have done. I've added that to everything that I've been involved in that didn't work very well. And I try to apply that to the horse. I don't know that you can ever be 100% balanced to accept negativity, but I think you can be balanced in your life that you accept anything positive. So I don't know that I'll ever be fully happy and balanced in a way that I'm satisfied. I still have that huge desire to learn and absorb from everybody else. And I've made as many mistakes as everybody else. I don't know that there's ever going to be a time that I'm going to give in and say, nah, that's enough. Because you can't learn everything. You can never find that perfect balance. I'm very happy where I'm at with life and the balance of my work, and I of course would like more family, but I have to work at that. I have to make that happen.